Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about why I have so many guitars, amps, and other stuff in my collection of goodies in this room. Well, I'm always in search for different sounds and tones that I can't generate out of what I have. So I got to buy new toys all the time. And of course my latest acquisition is my new Martin, which is actually quite the nice guitar. It's going to come in handy for some songs that I got in mind, and because it can generate the sounds and tones that I need. But isn't that just in the setup of the guitar? No. It's all about, in acoustic guitars, tone wood is a very, very real thing, okay? So it takes more than just the string height action or intonation setup or scale length. It's the woods. The woods are very critical in acoustics. String choice, also a big thing. So this is also more of a studio concert guitar, body thickness, etc. If you compare it against my Martin copy, which is my Sigma DR28, now it's a full dreadnought, it's a much thicker body, it's got a two-piece split back out of rosewood back and sides, the list goes on, and this is what we get. Now keep in mind both guitars have Martin strings on, but they're not the same brand of Martin strings. These are just the regular lights on this one, which are 12 gauge. The other one's got 12s too, but they're a different brand. Now I've also lowered the action on this by shaving the saddle down because the action was up so high that I couldn't even adjust the neck. So that kind of sucked. So I lowered everything. I also recut the nut as well because the strings were sitting up too tall. They weren't flush at the top the way they should be. And there's a whole pile of discussion about that on the internet and fighting going on. But totally different guitar, okay? Totally different. And great for a lot of songs where I want a deeper voiced guitar. Right? If I want a little bit more, less volume, okay, and I want to alter all the frequency range, well then I go to something like this Fender. Of course, this has stock strings on it from the factory still. I haven't changed them yet. No need to yet. But either way, if I change over to, say, NanoWebs by Elixir, this thing will brighten right up, but then, of course, I'm going to lose bass response. But that may be a good thing. You know what I mean? Now, the Takamine, it's a cutaway, but it's a lot of the same dimensions as the DR28. But again, you've got different woods in here and everything else, and this has Elixir NanoWebs. Now, I've had these strings on here for a couple of months. I've played the hell out of them. And I've had no problem with the nano coating as of yet. Polywebs do have issues with their coating, but these NanoWebs don't seem to. But these are still playing just like brand spanking new, which is nice. And I keep that nice rich tone, I got good bass out of there. It's a little crisp, but that's okay. I like it. Now, as far as my action height goes, it's about a millimeter difference between this one and the Sigma. Because not all guitars are set up the same, nor should they be. But I also like my action as low as I can get it without string buzz. But in the case of the Martin having a slightly higher action than what I'm used to, the sound it produces is amazing, you know. But I gotta have the variety to get the music produced the way I need it to be for different songs. And I mean, there's a lot of songs I just can't play on that little Fender because it just can't produce what I need it to so I can sing along with it properly, you know. And changing the key is just not in question. It's just not going to happen because I've tried and it doesn't work. And you know, so you know, when people you know, really think seriously about it, there's no one guitar out there that's the best guitar, even for your electrics, you know. And if you want to change the sound of your present electric because you might not like the pickups, well then some people would say, why did you buy the guitar then? Well, I like the guitar. But you have to do more than that. You have to like the sound of those pickups through your amp. And that could be your problem too. It's not your pickups, it's just your amplifier is just not the right amp for that guitar with those pickups. You know, so a lot of people will actually spend hundreds of dollars rifling through pickups and still not get it, and it's frustrating. And then they start asking, you know, how do I get this? And then people start recommending pickups, and it's like nobody seems to think about amplifier or how about even a pedal? You know, like even a clean boost pedal can dramatically change your tone on an electric guitar, whether you're talking a Strat, a Tele, or you know, your typical SGs or Les Pauls, and the list goes on. You know, you also got to look at scale length of your guitar too, and part of that is looking at the frets. Do you have 20 fret, 21 fret, 22 fret, 24 fret? When you get into 24 fret guitars, they're what's called a baritone guitar, and acoustic or electric. And what happens there is they have different tunings right from the factory with those, but you can tune them in standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, E, okay, no problem, and they play just perfect, and they're intonated to go that way. But generally, you know, your one string is down tuned a bit, and that's just the way they happen to set them up, right? Because my Chord X2 is actually considered a baritone because it's a 24 fret. But I use standard tuning with it, and I love playing like heavy metal on it, hard rock. It's a great guitar for it. The pickups are really nicely voiced when used with a variety of different amps. And you know, and that's the thing too. Even this last year, I've been really getting addicted into amps and trying different amps out and buying amps and trading, and you know. And it's like, okay, so I've got a Roland Cube 60 now that works great with any of my electrics. Most of my pedals work great with my electrics. So the more important music for me to be able to play, everything works, right? There's still a few pedals that I want and need, but I really don't need another amp, you know. Now there is a new PRS left-handed guitar that just got released from PRS, and I really like the way it was on the video. However, I know I don't have the same amp, but I don't care. It's the fact that it's a PRS and it's an affordable PRS. I was looking at like upwards to $3,000 minimum. I think it was, now that's Canadian dollars, keep in mind, for a lefty PRS, and this one's only like well, in Canada, I think it's going to sell for somewhere around $1,000 to $1,100. I'm going to check though with Long McQuade and find out. But I want that guitar. Number one, it's a PRS, so it is a quality built guitar. But I also love the style, and there's color options. So it's like, great, we're not stuck with one color. Like when you buy a Fender Strat Affinity, like I have Fender Strat Affinity and Tele, I didn't get options on colors. It's like you get butterscotch blonde for the Tele, and you get this antique burst design on the Strat. But if I played righty, I'd have a lot of color choices. Well, PRS at least has given us a few color choices to look at, and they're probably the most popular colors that people choose anyway. And they got one there I really like, and I want it, so I'm going to buy it next year. And you know, that'll probably be the last electric I ever buy, but that's the way it is, you know. And really, as far as electrics go, you know, I think it'll be the last. I can't guarantee it, because I still would like a Les Paul. But I have only one other acoustic to buy, and that's just a Yamaha $200, I think it's a 325D or something. It's a $200 guitar, you know, but it's right-handed, and that's all I need for learning to play right-handed with. It's got sick action on it, and plays nice, full-size dreadnought. I like the sound. It's the same guitar, actually, I bought my son about 2 years ago. And it's a nice guitar, you know, but I'm teaching myself right-handed, so I don't need to invest a lot of money. And I really don't care to have a right-handed electric, you know. And so that doesn't really matter. But that's why, you know, like, people ask me, why do you have so much stuff? And, you know, and some people are like, man, you got a lot of guitars. Because I think about 17 guitars here through the summer. And I went down to 7, and then I got the mandolin, so I count that as a sort of a guitar. So that would be, you know, 8. And then, you know, I've got the Martin I just bought, so there's, you know, 9 in total. 8 actual 6-string guitars and 1 mandolin, you know. And my wife plays mandolin, you know, but I'm trying to help her to play more often, so I figure, well, if I pick up a mandolin and I learn with her, maybe I can get her to improve more on it and spend more time on it, and at the same time I learn a new instrument too, you know. I tell you, it's weird playing mandolin. I mean, I don't have puny little fingers, but, you know, it's kind of like, it's kind of weird. But at least I got G, C, and D nailed. That's all I care about. You know, give me 3 chords, I'm good. I'm not looking to be a real expert player at mandolin. It's just kind of like a side thing, you know. And of course I'm going to take up a ukulele. You know, I'm going to try out a ukulele, and if I like it, well, then I'll buy a bigger scale one. I'm not going to invest a lot of money into a uke if I'm not going to actually do anything with it. So buy a cheap one and see how well I learn it. But it's like anything else. It's part of it too is what's called GAS, which is gear acquisition syndrome, and a lot of us addicted guitar players are freaks about, you know, I see it and I'm like, gotta have it. Where's my wallet? You know, we're like that. Seriously, we're bad. You know, if we could mortgage the house to get a new toy, we would. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. You know, so anyway, so for those of you who've been asking, I figured I'd do a video answering your question as to why I have so many guitars. And there is actual functionality to it. It's not just about collecting cool stuff. It's about having stuff that can produce the kind of music that I like to play. And it does a great job. So, and it's taken a lot of years of going through hundreds of guitars and amps and pedal types and pedal brands and all this other jazz to come up with what I have now that really does suit me quite well for everything I want to do. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and you know, if it was a little bit long for you, I'm sorry, but hey, you know, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.